Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of this week's episode of Vikings on the History Channel. This week we've seen Season 4, Episode 18, which was called Revenge. And I apologize for the lateness, but I had to, work last night, so I was not able to see it. But I did watch when I got home from work tonight, and so let's get into it. As I said in previous Vikings videos, I do plan on reviewing at least the rest of Season 4, just due to the events that transpired in All His Angels. I feel like I owe it to the show. So overall, this is definitely a good episode. Of course, I already heard plenty of complaining going on about it regarding how certain things played out in the climax of the episode, or how the people behind it decided to edit certain things. But we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Like I said, overall, this is a pretty good episode. It was mostly, of course, centered around, Bjorn, Ivar, the rest of Ragnar's sons, and, as well as Lagertha and stuff, preparing for the invasion, preparing to go after King Aelle and stuff, to avenge Ragnar's death. And, of course, we see him doing a sacrifice and such. We've seen that back, in like Season 1 or so of Vikings. I think Season 1, Season 2, I think it might have been, actually. So we see the ritualistic stuff, Lagertha performing it and such. And, of course, it's a little bit awkward because during that whole, ceremony, of course, Astrid and Bjorn sneak off, and they basically, have sex to the beat of the music, and then as the guy is stabbed, the guy who's sacrificing himself for the gods, as he's dying, he's like he's breathing his last breaths, and it's kind of weird how they edited that with how Astrid was receiving. So that was a little bit odd, and I still find the whole Bjorn and Astrid thing to be a little bit awkward. It sort of did come out of left field, I think. As has Bjorn sort of changed personality. I know he's trying to be a little bit tough. He's trying to be really, really strong right now. But Bjorn, he seemed a little bit more arrogant lately, or a little bit more he's even seemed a little bit sketchy, which is weird because before you would see Bjorn as this actual, solid guy that you could actually, not feel that way about on the show. And now he sort of fits in with some of the others, giving these sideways looks, and just the way he carries himself is a little bit different. So I feel like, I don't know, something's weird with Bjorn right now. Although the actor's still doing a fine job, and him and Ivar end up debating over who's gonna, lead this battle, or, this slaughter, as it turns into. We'll talk more about that in a couple minutes. Of course, Bjorn has his case because he's participated in more battles, so he arguably has, not arguably, he does have more experience, and thus he thinks he still has more of a mind for it and such. Ivar, however, was able to convince his brothers that he should be the leader out of them anyway, because Ragnar did take him to England, and he did say, he did tell him to, look at all of Wessex's, defenses, and different things of that nature, to get an idea of, how to, go after them when they do. So I do think it is going to be the case later on that, at least as far as strategic and the planning and the tactics go, it'll probably fall to Ivar, I think. I think he, even if you do or do not know history, I think you can see if Ragnar chose him. Ivar is certainly up for great things in the future, I think. What was interesting, I really don't feel like going back to the Astrid and Bjorn stuff, but what was interesting is that Lagertha, she actually seemed to know about the affair that was going on. She doesn't seem, she gives a gesture to Bjorn's wife, during the ceremony when they notice that Astrid and Bjorn are both missing, and she doesn't seem at all surprised when Astrid returns to the bed late at night. Some people question maybe she doesn't know it's with Bjorn, but come on, she could have put two and two together easily. Both of them are gone during the sacrifice and such. But it's not the worst thing, I guess, because it's been clear that Lagertha's heart still lies with Ragnar, even when Ragnar was still alive. The way she talked about him when Astrid was around and such. So maybe Astrid doesn't feel as bad about going off with someone else because Lagertha might not have truly loved her anyway. But still, it's odd that as to be Bjorn, the whole son thing, and Bjorn, sleeping with his mom's, partner. It's still odd, but I guess I'm just trying to justify it somehow. But yeah, so it's good that Lagertha is perceptive enough to know about it anyway. She basically tells Astrid she hopes she enjoyed it, otherwise it's not worth it. So there might be more comeuppance for it eventually, but it seems like Lagertha's letting it go for now, but there's definitely not going to be as much trust between them for sure. And of course, what am I saying? Yeah. And Egbert is, told of the heathen's arrival, the great heathen army. And, of course, he doesn't seem at all surprised. And, he says he still counts on Athelwulf, of course, his son, to prepare their defenses correctly and such. And Athelwulf sort of questions him, saying he knows he loved Ragnar Lothbrok. He loved, of course, his bride. And then he also, of course, had a love for Athelstan as well. And he questions Egbert if he loves, his own son, Athelwulf. Egbert, we don't really see what Egbert says, but you can tell he might not exactly hold him in the same regard. And you have Aelle preparing, he was, praying, to the god and such. But that wasn't really going to work too well. I like the way they did this, though. Of course, we see them standing on the hills, as Bjorn and the others march forward. At first, we only see, an average sort of a battle row of them. And, this is the great heathen army. And then, a really cool shot. You see Floki come over, at a distance away on the other side, leading this mass army behind him. And then you see, at least a couple more rows pop up behind Bjorn and stuff as well. So I thought that was really well done. And this is the part where some people get pissed off right when they're charging at each other. You also see Ivar, running across in his chariot and such, which is cool. People were pissed off that they didn't show any of the battle, but I kind of fall in line with the people who didn't mind it as much, because it wasn't really a battle. It was basically implied to be a massacre at that point. Aelle and everyone knew it was coming. So they probably didn't really need to waste or use too much budget on, showing a massacre pretty much. It probably would have been fun to see, and they probably could have, showed, at least, 30 seconds, a minute of it or something. I don't know. But the way they cut it to Aelle immediately being dragged through the mud and such, I thought it served its purpose, showed how easily they, conquered them and such. So I think it still worked. And, also, when Bjorn and the whole army was charging, they're all yelling, Ragnar, Ragnar. That made me happy. And then as far as Aelle's punishment goes, they had him take him to where Ragnar died. And some people were confused because they didn't see Ragnar, any bones or, his body in the pit or anything like that. I think, I'm not sure exactly either, but some people had said that, snakes, they devour, the whole body piece by piece eventually. I don't really want to picture that too much, but that was probably the case. I don't think Ragnar's alive or anything, or escaped. That would have been awesome, but we know that's probably not the case. And Aelle, of course, he was already beaten, and they give him the Blood Eagle. They open up his skin, stab, hit him into the, inside his ribs and such. Very brutal. We've seen it a couple times on Vikings. So it was very satisfying to see as well, and they hang him. His skin flaps hanging out, so, it was definitely good to see that payoff for sure. Even though we didn't have to wait too long, it was still nice to see, of course. So yeah, overall, this is a pretty good episode, I don't think it's, the best of the second half of Season 4 so far, but it was, definitely pretty good, definitely delivered what it should, in my opinion. I'm going to give it an 8.7, 8.8 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Only 2 episodes left of Season 4. Probably going to see, them go against Egbert's army pretty soon. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.